Massive flooding in Thailand may cause disruptions in Philippines' vehicle supply, especially if Thai parts and vehicle assembly operations remain paralyzed for a longer period. According to the Chamber of Automotive Manufacturers of the Philippines, Inc., or CAMPI, local auto companies are not yet feeling the full impact of the Thai flooding, as they still have inventories. Going into the Christmas buying season, however, work stoppage in some Thai vehicle and parts plants could cause a shortage in local vehicle supply. The local units of Toyota Motor Corporation and Honda Motor have already slashed production in their Laguna plants. CAMPI said that the floods being experienced by Thailand will invariably have an effect on the local automotive industry in case the production and supply situation of automotive companies in Thailand will not return to its normal level sooner. CAMPI added that as of now, most local assemblers have not yet felt its effect since they still have existing inventories, although they are preparing for contingencies to ensure that they can serve the requirements of the domestic market. They continue to monitor the situation in Thailand as they are hopeful that the production and supply situation will normalize soon. Local auto assemblers get a significant chunk of their parts supply from Thailand, which means a supply disruption there could cause a production reduction here. Both TMPC and HCPI had announced production cutbacks in view of the Thai floods, with Toyota scaling back operations to just 3 days a week starting last week. This was the second time this year that auto firms had reduced their local operations. The first time was earlier in the year, following the March earthquake and tsunami in Japan, which also hurt vehicle and parts production. Local auto assemblers were just starting to recover from the Japan crisis when typhoons and floods hit Thailand and affected the automotive sector's operations. CAMPI was targeting a sales growth of 4 to 5% this year. As of the third quarter, however, local vehicle sales were on a decline, shrinking 3.5% for the first 9 months.
The International Labour Organization, or ILO, has warned that the global economy is on the verge of a new and deeper jobs recession that may ignite social unrest. It will take at least 5 years for employment in advanced economies to return to pre-crisis levels, it said. The ILO also noted that in 45 of the 118 countries it examined, the risk of social unrest was rising. Separately, the Operation for Economic Cooperation and Development research body, or OECD, said G20 leaders meeting in Cannes this week need to take bold decisions. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development said the rescue plan announced by EU leaders on the 26th of October had been an important first step, but the measures must be implemented promptly and forcefully. The OECD's message to world leaders came as it predicted a sharp slowdown in growth in the Eurozone and warned that some countries in the 17-nation bloc were likely to face negative growth. In its World of Work Report 2011, the ILO said a stalled global economic recovery had begun to dramatically affect labor markets. It approximated 80 million net new jobs would be needed over the next 2 years to get back to pre-crisis employment levels. But it said the recent slowdown in growth suggested that only half the jobs needed would be created. Raymond Torres from the ILO said, "We have reached the moment of truth. We have a brief window of opportunity to avoid a major double dip in employment." The group also measured levels of discontent over the lack of jobs and anger over perceptions that the burden of the crisis was not being fairly shared. It said scores of countries face the possibility of social unrest, particularly those in the EU and the Arab region.